Hi, I'm Brenda and welcome back to Daily Dose of. Today is a very gloomy day. In fact, it's been gloomy all week and very cold, so I thought it's a perfect day for some baking. I am going to be making some apple hand pies. Kavi and I have made something like this before. I don't think it's the exact recipe because I literally just Googled this online a few moments ago. I am by no means a baker. I almost never do it, and normally when I do, I usually use a mix. So this will be an adventure for both of us. All right, for the crust, you are gonna need 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup or 2 sticks of unsalted butter, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and 6 to 8 tablespoons of ice water. I also can't find the 1 cup measuring cup, so I'm just gonna use the 1/4 cup for the whole thing. 1/4. Two and a half. To make it easier for the food processor, I'm just kind of chopping up my butter. Upon reading the instructions, I was definitely supposed to put the salt and sugar in the flour before the butter. Can't turn back now. Slowly add ice water. So now, carefully empty the dough from the food processor onto a clean, dry, flat surface. My cutting board. This might be too small of a cutting board. Can't get bigger than this guy. We have my cutting board. I have my dough. And let's just slowly get it out of its container. Okay. Set to gather it in a mound. Ooh. Wow, this smells great. Gather the mixture into a mound. Divide the dough into 2 even-sized mounds. Oh, this is if you're going to be making a top and a bottom. We'll do 2 even-sized mounds anyways. Use your hands and knead each mound just enough to form into a disc. Do not over knead. Kneading develops gluten, which will toughen the dough. Not something you want in a pastry crust. What do I do after it's a disc? It's honestly too crumbly. Oh, it's becoming a disc. Okay, all right. Mound 1 is fuck. Mound 2 is becoming a disc. We love that. Oh my god, it fucking worked. I have 2 discs. Sprinkle each disc with a little flour and wrap each one in plastic wrap. Sprinkle a little flour, get a little bit of plastic wrap. Oh no! Pretend that didn't happen. I don't know how to pretend that didn't happen. Stay as a disc, please. Ooh, mound 2 is looking good. Second child's clearly the favorite child here. You're gonna take your 2 little discs? Oh my god. Disc 1, get your shit together. Do I just have to knead you more? Do you need more attention? First disc has become a real disc now. Time to wrap you up. Now when you have 2 discs, toss them in the fridge for an hour. Set 1 hour timer. While I wait for the pie crust to keep settling, I'm gonna start on the filling. For the filling, you're gonna need 2 large green apples, 2 tablespoons of butter, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup of white sugar, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of water, 1 egg, 2 teaspoons of milk, which I'm actually just gonna substitute for water because I don't have milk. In China, they actually always peel their apples to eat. I think because of pesticides or something on the fruit, they always peel everything, but here, I'm so not used to peeling stuff. Ugh. Now for the peel, I'm actually gonna save for my in-house composters. All right, enjoy. Now that I have 2 peeled apples, I don't have an apple corer, so I'm just gonna cut it. that different. So now that I'm done peeling, coring, and chopping my apples, let's head over to the skillet. Grab a medium-sized pan. I just have my handy dandy cast iron. Turn the heat on medium. And the first thing you're going to add is your butter. And just have that start to melt in the whole pan. Cast irons are my favorite pans. I used to hate them because they were super heavy, but now I realize they last forever. So as you're melting in the butter, you're gonna wait for it to become a little bit of a toasted brown. It should take about a minute. It's starting to brown a little bit. I'm gonna start adding in my apples. Once I have the apples in the pan, I'm going to start sprinkling in the salt and mix it up a little bit. Sprinkle in the white sugar, brown sugar. Mix it all up. After you add all the sugars and the salt, you're going to be mixing it around for about 5 minutes until you feel the apples start to soften a little bit. Gosh, this smells so good. When I was younger, I used to make my own applesauce with that apple masher. I should do that again. So after your apples have softened a little bit, that's when you start to add the cinnamon along with your 1 teaspoon of water, which I don't even know what that did, but stir for a little bit more. Make sure that cinnamon gets all over your apples. How much time is left on my timer?
You have 30 seconds left on your 1 hour time.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be timed perfectly. The apples are gonna be ready, the dough is gonna be ready. We can just hop into making these hand pies. All right, once your apples are soft and sticky, they are ready. I've grabbed my dough pieces out from the fridge. It's been a little over an hour now. Should be ready to go. This is definitely too stiff. I'm not sure how to solve this problem. We're just gonna try to roll it out with a rolling pin. Starting to turn into a little something something. I have my little pie circle. Take my apple and I'm just gonna spoon a bit in, flatten it out a little bit. I don't want it to be overwhelming. Oops. So kind of divide this circle into a half because I'm gonna be folding it over like a calzone. Make sure you're leaving an inch around the edges, and then this way, when you fold it over, you can really start pushing these edges down. And thus, our first hand pie is created. Now, taking a fork, just to make the edges a little prettier, take this fork, push it down over the edge. This just gives, I don't know, a little bit of that design. Sometimes when you go buy hand pies, it comes with that design. Poke a few ventilation holes at the top so your pie doesn't explode when it's in the oven. Take your egg from earlier, crack that in there. You're gonna whisk up this egg as a little bit of an egg wash. This is where the milk would have come in, but I don't have any milk. So I'm just gonna add a dash of water. You're gonna take your egg from earlier and you're just gonna scoop a little bit of that egg and brush it on top of your hand pies. This is just gonna give it that nice like golden texture or color when you pop it in the oven. Sprinkling a little bit of sugar on top because it's not sweet enough. Now that I have all 3 pies on my baking sheet, I'm just gonna pop it into the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. My hand pies are out of the oven. let's give it a little taste test. Look at this. It is still steaming on the inside, but it is looking so yummy. This turned out so well. The crust is so flaky. The apples, oh, so good. All right, that brings us to the end of today's video. I'm gonna link the recipe I used down below. It's just something I Googled, literally allrecipes.com, but this turned out to be a bomb activity for a rainy day, so I highly recommend. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye-bye.